Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Current Affairs MCQs. Let's begin with the previous day question. Consider the following statements. 1. It is a direct tax imposed on foreign digital service providers to tax income generated from digital transactions in India. 2. It aims to ensure fair taxation of digital businesses that do not have a physical presence in India. 3. It aligns with the BEPS or the Base Erosion and Profit Shifting Action Plan to curb tax avoidance. Which of the following best matches the above description? A. Goods and Services Tax or GST. B. Equalization Levy. C. Corporate Tax. And D. Excise Duty. The correct answer is option B. Equalization Levy or Digital Services Tax. Equalization levy, introduced in 2016, is a direct tax imposed on foreign digital service providers to tax income generated from digital transactions in India. It aims to ensure fair taxation of digital businesses that do not have a physical presence in India, aligning with the BEPS or the Base Erosion and Profit Shifting Action Plan to curb tax avoidance. It is deducted at the time of payment by the service recipient if the payment is made to a non-resident service provider, the annual payment to a single provider exceeds rupees 1 lakh in a financial year. The equalization levy initially applied to online ads 6% and was expanded in 2020 to cover digital services and e-commerce 2%, with the latter abolished in August 2024. The Union government has proposed abolishing the equalization levy, which will benefit advertisers on digital platforms like Google, X, and Meta by reducing tax burdens. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Before we move forward, an important announcement. The next offline batch of the IAS GS Foundation course, Prelims plus Mains, is starting soon at Drishti IAS, Noida. The English medium batch will begin on 8th April at 6 p.m. and the Hindi medium batch admissions are now open. For more details, contact 87501 87501. Now moving on to the first question. Consider the following statements regarding exercise Aikimi. 1. It is a maritime exercise co-hosted by India and Tanzania, and its inaugural edition is set to take place in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. 2. Key participants of this exercise include Comoros, Djibouti, Eritrea, Kenya, and Sri Lanka. Which of the statements given above is correct or are correct? A. 1 only. B. 2 only. C. Both 1 and 2. And D. Neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option A. India-Africa Key Maritime Engagement, IKIMI. It is co-hosted by India and Tanzania with its first edition in April 2025 at Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Hence, statement 1 is correct. The exercise involves 11 nations including Comoros, Djibouti, Eritrea, Kenya, Madagascar, Mauritius, Mozambique, Seychelles, South Africa, India and Tanzania. Hence, statement 2 is not correct. It includes training on anti-piracy operations, search and rescue, seamanship skills, visit boat search and seizure, and helicopter operations. Hence, option A is the correct answer. Question 2. Consider the following statements regarding Rabindranath Tagore. 1. He was the first non-European to receive the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1913 for his work Gitanjali. 2. He established Vishwabharati University at Shantiniketan in 1921 based on the philosophy of learning in harmony with nature. 3. In 1937, he established China Bhavan to foster Indo-Burmese civilizational ties and global cultural dialogue. Which of the statements given above are correct? Option A, 1 and 3 only. Option B, 1 and 2 only. Option C, 2 and 3 only. And option D, 1, 2 and 3. The correct answer is option B. Rabindranath Tagore, born in Calcutta on 7th May 1861, was a Bengali poet, novelist, playwright, musician, painter, philosopher, and educationist. He was popularly known as Gurudev, Kabi Guru, and Vishwa Kabi. He became the first non-European to win the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1913 for his work Gitanjali. Hence, statement 1 is correct. Tagore envisioned education as a means to liberate the mind, not control it. In 1921, he founded Vishwabharati University at Shantiniketan, built on the philosophy of learning in harmony with nature. Hence, statement 2 is correct. In 1937, he established Chin Bhavan to foster Indo-Chinese civilizational ties and global cultural dialogue. Hence, statement 3 is not correct. Therefore, option B is the correct answer. Moving on to question 3, consider the following statements regarding transgenic research. 1. Transgenic research involves altering the genomes of organisms by introducing foreign deoxyribonucleic acid sequences from another species. 2. Cotton is the only transgenic crop that is being commercially cultivated in India. 3. Genetic Engineering Appraisal Committee or the GEAC under the Ministry of Science and Technology responsible for evaluating impact of transgenic research. Which of the statements given above is correct or are correct? A. 1 and 2 only, B. 2 and 3 only, C. 1 and 3 only, and D. 1, 2 and 3. The correct answer is option A. Transgenic research involves altering the genomes of organisms by introducing foreign deoxyribonucleic acid or DNA sequences from another species, typically in a laboratory setting. Hence, statement 1 is correct. The term transgenic comes from the root word trans, which means across, or from one to another, and genic, which refers to genes. This research creates transgenic animals, plants, and microorganisms for genetic studies, disease modeling, and biotechnology advancements. Cotton is the only transgenic crop that is approved by the Genetic Engineering Appraisal Committee or the GEAC for commercial cultivation in the country. Hence, statement 2 is correct. GEAC is the apex body under the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change responsible for evaluating the environmental impact of transgenic research and industrial use of hazardous microorganisms and recombinants. Hence, statement 3 is not correct. Hence, option A is the correct answer. Question 4. With reference to Balochistan, consider the following statements. 1. Balochistan is bordered by Afghanistan, Iran, Punjab and Sindh and the Arabian Sea. 2. During the partition of India, Balochistan comprised 4 princely states, namely Kharan, Makran, Lasbela and Kalat. Which of the statements given above is correct or are correct? A. 1 only, B. 2 only, C. Both 1 and 2, and D. Neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option C. Balochistan is Pakistan's southwestern province that borders Afghanistan, Iran, Punjab and Sindh, provinces of Pakistan, and the Arabian Sea. Hence, statement 1 is correct. It covers 44% of the country's total land area but is home to only 5% of its population, predominantly inhabited by the Baloch, a Sunni Muslim ethnic group who also have significant communities in Iran and Afghanistan. It is the largest and least populated province, rich in natural resources such as natural gas, coal, gold and copper, but remains highly impoverished with 70% of its population classified as multidimensionally poor. History of insurgency. At the time of partition of India in 1947, Balochistan comprised 4 princely states, Kharan, Makran, Lasbela and Kalat, with Kalat opting for independence while the others joined Pakistan. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Amnesty International reports that over 10,000 Baloch have disappeared in Pakistan since 2011. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Question 5. Consider the following schemes. 1. Amended Technology Upgradation Fund Scheme. 2. Samarth Scheme. 3. Powertex India. How many of the above are associated with the textile sector? Option A, only 1. Option B, only 2. Option C, all 3. And option D, none of the above. The correct answer is option C. The National Technical Textiles Mission, or the NTTM, launched in 2020 by the Ministry of Textiles, aims to position India as a global leader in technical textiles by 2025-26, has completed 5 years. Technical textiles. Technical textiles are functional fabrics made from natural and synthetic fibers used across industries like defense, healthcare, infrastructure, automotive, medicine, etc. Examples: mosquito nets, seat belts, helmets, fireproof jackets, and sanitary napkins. NTTM, or the National Technical Textiles Mission. Launched for a period from 2021 to 2025-26, the mission focuses on promoting research, market growth, exports, and skill development in key sectors like agriculture, healthcare, and infrastructure in technical textiles. Schemes related to the textiles sector: PM Mitra Park Scheme, Amended Technology Upgradation Fund Scheme, or the ATUFS, Scheme for Integrated Textile Parks, Samarth Scheme, Powertex India. PM Mega Integrated Textile Regions and Apparel, PM Mitra Park Scheme. Launched to create integrated textile parks under the public-private partnership mode via SPVs with facilities like processing units and design centers. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Question 6. Sahyog Portal, which was recently seen in the news, is best described as a government initiative designed to improve cooperation with social media intermediaries to ensure a safer online environment. B. A platform for social media users to share personal content with government officials. C. A tool aimed at enhancing communication between political parties and media outlets. And D. A forum where individuals can discuss and vote on new laws and regulations. The correct answer is option A. The Sahyog Portal is an initiative to enhance cooperation between government agencies and social media intermediaries to create a safe cyberspace. It was designed to facilitate the reporting and removal of unlawful content online, as well as streamline data requests from law enforcement agencies. The portal allows collaboration between authorized agencies from the central and state governments to work together with social media platforms to address cybercrime effectively. Among the major challenges to the adoption of the Sahyog Portal is the resistance from X, the popular social media platform in the country. Notably, 38 other intermediaries, including Meta, WhatsApp, Apple, Amazon, Telegram, and Instagram, have been onboarded, while 15 intermediaries are in the process. Approval process is underway to onboard cryptocurrency exchanges, it is learnt. Hence, option A is the correct answer. Moving on to question 7. Which of the following countries borders the Black Sea? 1. Ukraine, 2. Russia, 3. Bulgaria, and 4. Romania. Select the correct answer using the code given below. Option A, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Option B, 2 and 3 only. Option C, 1 only. And option D, 1, 2 and 3. The correct answer is option A, Black Sea. It is also known as the Euxine Sea. Bordering countries are Ukraine, Russia, Georgia, Turkey, Bulgaria, and Romania. Surrounding mountains are Pontic to the south, Caucasus east, and Crimean Mountains in the north. Connections. The Turkish Strait system connects the Marmara, Black, and Mediterranean seas through the Bosphorus and Dardanelles Straits. Extension: Sea of Azov, linked by the Strait of Kerch. Hence, option A is the correct answer. Moving on to next question. Round tripping, which is often seen in news, is best described as A. Money leaving the country to avoid taxes and then returning as foreign investment. B. Money being transferred abroad for the purpose of laundering. C. Foreign investment that is used to bypass trade tariffs. And D. Capital being invested in foreign assets to strengthen domestic currency. The correct answer is option A. Round tripping refers to money that leaves the country through various channels and makes its way back into the country, often as foreign investment. Money laundering is concealing or disguising the identity of illegally obtained proceeds so that they appear to have originated from legitimate sources. It is frequently a component of other, much more serious crimes such as drug trafficking, robbery, or extortion. Shell companies are typically corporate entities with no active business operations or significant assets in their possession. The government views them with suspicion as some could be used for money laundering, tax evasion, and other illegal activities. Hence, option A is the correct answer. Question 9. CPACE, which was recently in the news, is best described as a new digital payment system for corporate transactions, B. A centralized platform for processing corporate strikes and exits, C. A specialized tribunal for resolving corporate disputes, and D. A regulatory body responsible for corporate tax compliance. The correct answer is option B. The Ministry of Corporate Affairs, or the MCA, set up a centralized processing for accelerated corporate exit, or CPACE, the exclusive authority responsible for handling the entire strike-off process. This is a transparent system with no physical interface with applicants. The CPACE will also benefit the stakeholders by providing hassle-free filing, timely and process-bound striking of their companies' names from the register. The setting up of the CPACE is part of the several measures taken by MCA in the recent past towards ease of doing business and ease of exit for the companies. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Question 10. Consider the following statements. 1. It is Iran's oceanic port nearest to India. 2. It is situated in Sistan and Balochistan province on the Makran coast. 3. It lies in the Gulf of Oman. Which of the following locations best matches the above description? A. Chabahar, B. Bandar Abbas, C. Khurramshahar, and D. Bushehr. The correct answer is option A. Chabahar is Iran's oceanic port nearest to India. It is situated in Sistan and Balochistan province on the Makran coast. It lies in the Gulf of Oman. The Chabahar port project has two main ports called the Shahid Kalantari port and the Shahid Beheshti port. Iran had offered India the project of developing the Shahid Beheshti port, which was well received by India. Hence, option A is the correct answer. Now is the time for today's practice question. Consider the following statements. Statement 1. Absolute poverty is a condition where individuals lack the resources to meet basic needs like food, shelter, and healthcare, typically measured by the poverty line. Statement 2. The World Bank adopted US dollars 2.15 as the international poverty line using the 2017 purchasing power parity. Which one of the following is correct in respect of the above statements? Option A. Both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct, and statement 2 is the correct explanation for statement 1. B. Both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct, and statement 2 is not the correct explanation for statement 1. C. Statement 1 is correct but statement 2 is incorrect, and option D. Statement 1 is incorrect but statement 2 is correct. That's all for today. Thank you for watching.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.